Hi, today is 4th of July and this is the day 2 on communication practice. Yesterday I just uploaded the video, what I recorded yesterday. Right, I just compressed that video to 100 MPs from 1 GB. So obviously the quality of video is so miserable. Yeah, anyway, I just uploaded that on YouTube. Today is day 2. I was just watching some videos on YouTube. I just completed watching a video on Andrew Huberman, Huberman or something. I don't know the exact. I cannot pronounce that. Andrew Huberman. Yeah. There's a channel called what's that? Respire. They used to put out small clips on Andrew Huberman's podcast. What he used to do, like a lot of people may know who's Andrew Huberman. He usually talks about neurochemicals, basically the dopamine stuff, the adrenaline, the what's that? Yeah, dopamine, adrenaline, and all of those neurochemicals that are actually makes the human body to move on, and the thing that is responsible to actually motivates the people to do work, right? He talks about that. And today, the same thing he talked about what is dopamine, how understanding about dopamine can help a person to move ahead in his career. Like he literally says, like dopamine is completely internal stuff. Let's say a person is getting to gym. Let's say a person is getting into gym. He's like, okay, if the person may be having a very big goal of okay, I may be getting a six pack after 6 months. So instead of having that big goal, instead of having that big goal of like, okay, I should be having that now, I should be getting that six pack now at the end of 6 months. He says like you just have to break down the thing like small chunks where you can now engulf that small pieces day by day, day by day, and by achieving that you get more energized. Your dopamine gets secreted in your body so that you feel more energized and you will like, oh man, I just did that. And he says two things. One is dopamine, other one is the adrenaline. There are two important neurochemicals that produces inside our brain. Those are the two stuff that produce stress and also the pleasure doing some work. Dopamine is responsible for all the happiness, the pleasureful things what we experience, like the pleasure what we experience whenever something good happens in our life. You got your new job, you got your iPhone. Let's say your salary got your salary got increased, you got your promotion, or something good happened in your family, or let's say anything good happens. Now the signs of achievement, the feeling of oh superb, it's good, right? These kind of things actually get instinct, like actually get instinct by not instinct. These things actually get intrigued by dopamine, right? So here we have to be thinking like how we can use the dopamine hits to our use, to our benefit to achieve things in life. And obviously, we people wanted to do things that is very hard and that will take substantially more amount of time to achieve. Let's say, as I said you the example before, let's say a person wants to get six pack abs, and now it's so hard for the person to get six pack ab, and it's so hard for the person to stay motivated as he was initially before, right before, no, right after he go to gym for around let's say 2 to 3 days, and no, he might have worked so hard for to the 2 to 3 days. He might have followed the diet, he might have done everything for that 2 to 3 days, but after that there'll be a small dip in his motivation, and he may get like, oh man, today also I want to go to gym, like I should be really doing that. I don't know, there's nothing growth, no, I see nothing here, like no muscles are going up. The same thing happens with everybody, like all the people get motivated somehow, like in any of the ways. No, there were a whole industry of social media with that, there were a lot of motivational speakers out there. No, we people get motivated anyhow, and we get started. We embrace a journey, we endeavor something, but we endeavor something, but we quit so easily, we quit so much like then it should be like we get so easily than it should be like if I want to give you an instance, the same thing happened with myself too. Like initially in my life I wanted to go to IIT. I just wanted to become an IITian, right? So I studied for IIT JEE and I gave up. And then I wanted to get into like IIT, not the same thing. Like IIT dream doesn't fade away in my it doesn't fade it away in me. I wanted to go to IIT anyhow. Again, like I was like, okay, let me go to IIT, and what else I have to do? Let me prepare for GAT. Let me prepare for GATE. And what's that GATE? So if you wanted to prepare for GATE, and that's again a very big task of doing stuff, right? So yeah, I'm stammering today. I don't know what happened. I'm stammering a lot. I think today I'm not in the mood of speaking, so that's why I stammer a lot. And the video that I saw also, that's they used very high level of English. They used very high level English. That's why I couldn't able to follow up through. And I passed multiple times to note down the vocabularies and just saw the vocabularies. And there's a word called boats, like not no, it's not BOATH. It's BOUTS. Boats. Boats means something that we do for a specialized time very intensively. Something we do for a very specific amount of time very intensively. Like it's like fights. It's like struggle. Like so. Where did I left? Yeah, dopamine. So that's the whole idea of dopamine hits and how we can use the dopamine. This is the actual thing that motivates people to work towards their goal, right? But the problem with the dopamine is it lasts very small. It lasts for a very few seconds, or you can even say like it lasts for very few minutes, right? So you can't completely rely on dopamine. But as per the Andrew Huberman advice, you can get dopamine on your way multiple times. Like as the example as I said to you before, if the person plans to get six pack abs in six months, now as the person had that big goal in front of him and he endeavors the journey, after 2 days, 3 days, he may feel fatigue about it because of the hard work he does now, because of the sacrifices he have to make with diets. Now he see his friends are eating junk foods. He see people around him are eating junk foods and all the foods what he really liked to eat. But here he have to eat foods that were protein rich, that were carbohydrate rich. No, but he have to eat foods that are in accordance with the diet plans because he have to get that six pack abs. So it's hard, right? And maybe that 2 3 days willpower can pull the person to work, but after that, obviously that person have to rely on discipline, right? But the problem here is how many people were able to do that. Obviously, willpower is very short lasted. Dopamine is also very short lasted. How can a person do a thing for a long period of time? And that's what Andrew Huberman says in some part of the video. Like, you just have to give your brain that you're going in a correct path. That's it. That's a dopamine release, or that's a kind of a dopamine that you're giving to your brain. Let's say, like, as I'm doing this, right? I now recorded a video yesterday. I'm recording this video today as well. But today I don't even feel like recording. Downstairs I was watching a movie. Here I was just watching a YouTube video. Like, let us just be here. Let us now record video tomorrow. But I just pulled up and we do it, right? But initially it's so hard for me to talk. But now I'm just getting into that mood slightly, slowly, right? Despite the fact that I'm actually comparing myself with a lot of English speakers who can speak very flawlessly, and my thoughts are completely, unwired, and I talk random things here. Yeah, like I know sometimes I self-reflect myself like, so yeah, you might have done a lot of things before in your life, but what's the only thing that you do? Because as I told you, like the video that I recorded yesterday, if you have want to, or you have to do things consistently. Only then we will be achieving a goal, right? And if you want to do the thing consistently, we have to be giving the dopamine hits to our brain regularly so that we feel motivated in our journey. We feel that joy, that pleasure of like, oh man, I'm just going in the right path. Yeah, I got this as well. I got this as well. I got this as well. Like you may be having a lot of small goals inside your big external goals. So now like that's why that's a saying in Tamil. You can't eat a entire elephant, but you can end up eating entire elephant by eating small piece at one time. Like you can't engulf an entire elephant at a single time, but you can end up eating a very big elephant by eating one piece of food one time, taking one step at a time, baby steps, one by one, one by one, one by one. But even though doing this actually needs some kind of discipline from you, because as I told you, yesterday was a day what I really yesterday was a day I actually started making this. But today, just it was one day, no, not even it was like 10 days or 20 days. But after the day, like even after the one day, my motivation of recording videos and putting out on YouTube or practicing communication entirely dipped out. I don't know why it happens. I have to rely on the community. I have to rely on my discipline, right? So that's where he says you have to be giving up. You have to be giving small goals to your brain. And how can I able to use small goals? And that's where I said to my brain like, okay, if I record 30 minutes of video every single day, and if I put out on YouTube, I doesn't care how the quality of the video is. I doesn't care what I even speak in the video. Most probably I'll be blabbering in the video. Like nobody will be understanding the video if they doesn't have watched me, or if it doesn't have any uh, pre-existing knowledge about what I'm talking. Nobody will be understanding what I speak, right? Like people. But I just speak because I want to improve my communication skills. This is just day two, right? Because I have been practicing communication for a long period of time. This is just day two, and I want to propel that to a huge extent. Right? I'm completely tethered to that. Tethered. Yeah, tethered is a word which is a synonym of like connected, which is a synonym of connection. Like something is connected to that, right? So it changes accordance with that. Let's say. Uh, like I don't know the exact meaning of it, but I can able to feel that. Yeah, that's what I learned from the single communication as well. Whenever you are learning English, you should not be translating that into your mother tongue. Yeah, translating into your mother tongue helps you to actually learn what the word actually mean, but rather what you have been doing is you should be connecting, or you should be tethering that word or vocabulary with your emotion or with the feeling. Now the same thing as happens like you like now, let's say you now feel the agitation of hungriness. Then what you do suddenly, now you say like hungry, right? And it's not like you translate that from your mother tongue and then say it from your mouth, and that will take a lot of time. Then you'd feel very easy to say it in your mother tongue when you feel hungry, right? Why? Because you might have said that a lot of times, and moreover you might have connected that m- word with that feeling, with that like, okay, if I feel hungry, then I should be the first word that comes to your mind is hungry, right? That's what you should be focusing on to do. And moreover, I don't have much of content to speak today. What else I have to be speaking right now? um, like yeah, um, coming back to the story of dopamine, as he said, dopamine is nothing but a, a neurochemical that makes people motivated, that makes people energized. And he said one good example as well, like all the baseball game tournaments or any sports game you take, like football, cricket, or any of the game. There were two teams playing there, right? They are competing each other. Imagine competing each other, and let's say the game was so much important. Let's say final games, let's say FIFA final games, right? France versus Barcelona. Now France versus Argentina. Sorry. Now Both of the team might have given their maximum effort and they were slogging at it. They were very tired. But see the team which wins the game, they will literally get more energized. They'll be jumping all over. They'll be jumping all over the places, right? How does that happen? How does that happen? It's basically because of the dopamine. It doesn't matter how much tired you are. It doesn't matter how now like how slogging you are. It will actually energize you. It will give you even more motivation to do the stuff, right? And the fun part about this is completely internal. That's enlightenment. What I learned from the videos, I thought, okay, if somebody appreciates me, I get dopamine hit. I thought, okay, if somebody have to give me reward from externally, only then I'll be getting that kind of emotion to do the work. But then after watching this video, I come to know like dopamine is not something that comes from external facts. It's rather coming from the internal thing. Like it's about the feeling that you have towards something. Like okay, now you're doing this. You're on the endeavor of achieving something, right? Then that thing is that thing will actually give you success, right? So if you want to summarize the video what I watched right now, it's nothing but oh, what's that noise? So yeah, so if I wanted to summarize the video what I watched right now, it's like if you have a very big goal and you might have so much motivated initially when you're enduring a journey, but what happens very soon you lose your motivation because because see every time in your journey there will be stages, right? There's a stage called uh, uninformed optimistic, where you feel literally motivated. He doesn't know a lot of things on the journey. He doesn't know what challenges you encounter. He doesn't know what are the impediments that you're gonna face on the journey, right? And when you embrace the journey, when you keep on moving forward, and that's where the starting will be so easy for you. You'll be doing some small stuff, but when things get harder, you actually come to know. You come to the stage of non-pessimistic, where you come to understand, oh, this is not like yeah, not this is non-pessimistic. It's still an unknown pessimistic, because now the journey becomes harder for you. Now all the things that you thought it will be easy, that becomes harder for you. You can't do it, and you feel like giving up, right? And if you still continue to go on in the path, you enter into a stage called non-pessimistic, where you actually know why it is hard, where you actually realize this is why a lot of people give up on doing something, right? And then if you keep on if you somehow survive the period and somehow like push yourself to go through, and then there's a stage called non-optimistic, where you might have done the thing enough so that you might have known all the stuff, and you might have known like okay, yeah, these are the impediments that were there, these are the challenges I face, but still now I know how to get done. I know how to get this done. So that optimistic approach will be coming at the end, right? And that's why it's so easy to motivate it at the end of timing, where you're gonna win. It's so hard to it's so hard to be motivated like in the middle. It's so easy to be motivated in starting period and initially, like when you're starting out, it'll be so motivating and you don't know what's gonna happen in the journey. And it's so easy in the ending as well, because you almost know everything about the journey and you're about to win. So it's so easy, but the middle part is very very hard, right? The middle part is very hard. That's where a lot of people will give up. And that is where Andrew Huberman says like you just have to trick your mind so that you should be having that end goal. Like you may be having some destination or imagination in your brain, like you should be having that end goal multiple times in your journey, so that your brain feels like I have achieved this, I have achieved this, I have achieved this. Let's say you want to like end up studying some big thing, like I might have achieved this, I have achieved this, right? Let's say you want to achieve a very big goal, and now you have to break down into small chunks, and you have to do it in boats, right? Now, like let's say you might have planned to run a very big marathon, and now what you have to do, you have to like keep on having smaller and smaller goal, so that whenever you achieve that smaller goal, your brain feels like it had actually achieved that larger goal itself, right? So when your brain feels like, oh man, I achieved this, I achieved this, I achieved this, it doesn't matter how tired you are, it doesn't matter like how fatigued you are by doing this stuff, you literally feel motivated because the dopamine will pump in, and that will suppress the adrenaline which is secreted while you are working. And he says this thing as well: when you start working, there'll be some amount of adrenaline will used to get secreted in your brain. That is the reason for the stress, that is the reason for the agitation that you get when you're working, because that's what happened when I started recording this video as well. Initially I didn't even want to record this video, but as I started to record this video, it's already 21 minutes now. I had that agitation. I had that anxiety of doing things like, oh man, I couldn't able to do the stuff. I cannot speak in English very fluently. But I somehow made the ball to roll on. I somehow like, let me just do it. No, I doesn't care how I speak. Let me just do it. Let me just open up my mouth and speak. I doesn't gonna care what words I use. I doesn't gonna care what the thing what I speak. I doesn't gonna care. I just wanna speak, right? So I feel like a bit more relief, I feel a bit more you know like I feel a bit more what to say, motivated or energetic than initially, right? So that's what he also says. Initially, no matter whatever the work you start doing, you may be having that agitation, you may be having that feeling of anxiety, and like what would happen if I don't do the work properly, what would happen if I and more importantly, there will be a very big negative question, right, popping out in your mind, like, even though I do this, what's the probability that I'm gonna achieve this? Because this thing especially happens with success, because there is very less percentage for success to happen to you. A lot of people are competing, very less percentage for success. And now your brain will throw away a lot of logical questions to you. Surya, you're doing this, okay? Then what is the probability that you're going to speak fluently in English? And even though you speak fluently in English, what's the probability that the people or the companies or hiring managers is going to hire you for their job? So your brain will trick you not to work, and it's also the reason for procrastination, right? Your brain will throw you all the negative emotions and thoughts which you feel like valid, which you feel like valid points, like obviously what my brain says is true and that seems logical as well. Yeah, that is how much possibility that I would succeed. It's very less. Then why to work this much hard? What's the point in working hard this much hard? There's no worth for my hard work, right? And eventually, what do? You quit. That's what happens to a lot of people. Now, to get rid of this thing, we should be smart enough to tweak our brain that we should be breaking parts. We could be breaking the huge journey into small journey. We should be sprinting multiple times. It's not a long marathon. It's neither a long marathon nor a big sprint. Rather, it's a marathon plus it's a what to say? It's a marathon in terms of sprint, right? It's like, as Neville Ravikant says, let's say you want to go from here to here, like it seems to be a very big marathon, you cannot run in a single sprint, right? Now instead of going from here to here, to make that, to have the joy in the journey, what you have to do, you have to split that distance into multiple small chunks, and you should be running that multiple small chunks in sprint, so that whenever you achieve that small gates, small achievements which you have gave to your brain virtually, you feel that dopamine rising up inside you, you feel that you're feeling energetic, right? And that energy, that motivation will drive you for the next achievement that you have in front of you. And whenever you achieve that thing, and your dopamine will and dopamine will add on inside you, and again this dopamine will help you to achieve this thing. So by doing this, you complete the entire journey. That is actually three ways of doing it. What I found out right now is there is actually three ways of running a very long distance. Either You can run it as a long marathon, slowly, steadily. You can walk, you can jog, you can run, right? Or you can run it as a very big sprint. Like, okay, it's a very big chunk of distance we have to cover. Let me run it very fastly so that I just cover. And most very 0.0000001 percentage of people may succeed in it, because now it requires hell a lot of willpower, right? For a person to be motivated, to be extremely disciplined for 6 months or 1 year until he gets the six pack is very difficult, right? But rather, there's a different path of approaching it as well. Either you may be like separating, or like you may be like segregating the part into small small chunks, and you can fight at both, right? You can approach that in terms of both. You can sprint a bit and take rest, and enjoy the dopamine, and then again sprint, take rest, enjoy the dopamine, again sprint, take rest, and then again sprint, you finally achieve your destination. This is how you actually achieve the stuff, right? So, um, yeah, I learned the thing, like you have to be doing stuff. You have to be breaking down the thing into small, small pieces, so that your brain doesn't feel fatigue about engulfing a very big goal, right? So, I think that's it for today. I still have to improve my communication, a lot of stuff. This is day two, right? That's it for today. Thank you.